Hey everybody, I'm Steve Collins and welcome to another Copiah County, Hazelhurst, Mississippi Black History Moment. Her name, Mrs. Addie Mae Johnson, one of Copiah County's Gallman, Mississippi's oldest citizens. On February the 13th, 2023, she turned 95 years young. A big birthday celebration was definitely in order as family and friends came out to help Mrs. Addie Mae Johnson celebrate a glorious milestone, her 95th birthday. The celebration took place at Brando's restaurant in Hazelhurst. SVCC Productions caught up with Mrs. Addie Mae at her church, Clear Creek No. 1 Missionary Baptist Church in Gallman, and she shedded a little light on her life. Can you tell me when you were born?
In Copiah County, Gallman, February 13, 1928.
Mrs. Johnson don't remember just how old she was when she first joined Clear Creek No. 1 Missionary Baptist Church, other than the fact that she was a little girl. However, she do remember how many grands and great-grands she has.
Well, I got step-grandchildren, so lots of them. I can't count, I can name them all.
Just how many? You know how to... A lot of them.
A lot of them.
Okay.
Grand and great-grand, just a whole lot of them.
She also remembered crossing the railroad tracks just to get water.
About my childhood, the one part I remember, all I can remember is when we lived at Gallman. As the second crossing at Gallman going towards Crystal Spring. And we'd have to cross that track to go on the other side to get water out of the well because we didn't have any on that side of the track. So we had to go to and forth across the track to get water. And I remember going over there getting water out of the ditch, the train. But when nothing was coming, I'd go down and get my little bucket of water, take it back up the hill to the house.
Mrs. Johnson reminisced about the Johnson's Motel that she and her husband, Early Johnson, owned and operated on Massengill Street, right here in Hazelhurst, and also Johnson's Restaurant. Throughout your life, you've ran businesses in Hazelhurst. Can you name some of the businesses that you operated along with your husband?
My husband, we had Johnson's Cafe on the corner in Hazelhurst. And he had a my thoughts goes now.
I think it was a hotel, was it Johnson Hotel?
Yes, it did.
Red carpet all the way through it, bedrooms on each side.
Paul Hillard remembers Johnson's Motel from back in the day.
All right. That's old Early Johnson Hotel. I remember that hotel, man. I've been in that hotel a couple times. I ain't an old guy, but I was old enough to remember that hotel. I remember going in that hotel and it was surprising to me because it was in the black neighborhood and it had carpet in it. It was a nice hotel for it to be back then, but it was just a hotel, man. You know, you went down in the room, red carpet all the way through it, bedrooms on each side, but you had to come out of your bedroom and go back down to the bathroom. It had 2 bathrooms on the end. You wasn't no such thing as bathrooms in the hotel rooms at the time. So it was a real nice hotel at that time. Mr. Johnson, he did a pretty good job.
Y'all also operated out of the train depot. I think y'all ran a restaurant out of that. during the 80s, I think.
Yeah, we had to move out of the one up on the street, and I thought that was too much for me. But after leaving, I know that's what God wanted me to be, because so many people would come and sit on the stool where I would sit to talk to me. Early's friends were sitting around and they said, Early, they seemed to want to sit on that stool, so Early took the stool up so they couldn't sit where I was at. But I had something to give them. And because I was telling them about the Lord whenever they would get on that seat. One fella came in and he said, I'm hungry. I said, this is a Kathy. I can't feed you because you're hungry. And the Lord spoke to me just like that. So you're throwing out enough of food out the back, you could feed him. And I jumped up over that stool and out there and went up the street and caught him. Come back. I'm gonna fix you a plate. And I did. And the jokers that was sitting around went to tell me, she won't feed us, but she caught that man going up the street. But they didn't know the secret. God has spoken to me.
Mrs. Johnson has lived to see 17 U.S. presidents, the Great Depression, World War II, the lynching of Emmett Till, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the first black president of the United States, and the first black female vice president of the United States. Mrs. Johnson has also lived to see some Copiah County black history, like the Old Parish High School, formerly known as the Hazelhurst Negro School, the Copiah County Echo, a black Hazelhurst-owned newspaper, the boy with the pop bottle on his head, the Hazelhurst boycott of 1967, the Hazelhurst tornado of 1969, Henry Banks, the first black mayor of Hazelhurst, and Shirley Sandifer, the first black female mayor of Hazelhurst. We asked Mrs. Johnson, what is her secret to longevity?
The one in the secret, I've been depending on God all my life. And He's been protecting me, and He showed me things to come. And sure enough, they showed us up. I'm up on the mountain. And I hope I'll make it to the top of the mountain. But it's hard to make it to the top of the mountain now. But yeah, it's easy because I got Jesus on my side. When things get rough, He appears. Sometimes it doesn't seem like He's there, but He's there all the time.
He's there all the time, even when you're coming up on the rough side of the mountain. An amazing story, an amazing lady, Mrs. Addie Mae Johnson. Happy 95th birthday to you. I'm Steve Collins, and thank you for watching another Copiah County, Hazelhurst, Mississippi Black History Movie.
And He's there all the time, no matter how tough it gets. I went out yesterday, and when I woke up and sleeping, and the boys had cut my yard so beautiful. I got out there, the dog opened next door and pulled the trash all across my yard. The devil tried to get in. He tried to get in there to get it, but I walked across there and I asked the little girl, tell your mama come out. And she didn't, but her husband did. And he says, Miss Johnson, I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to clean it up. God was right in there keeping me from getting so upset because I was. And the dogs had strode garbage everywhere. But God, He took control. I said, thank you.